Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Alexa. I'm an enrollment coordinator here at CIEE, and I help students and parents through the application process. And then I also have Bree with me as she is part of our marketing team. But you guys are welcome to put any questions you may have in the chat. We have a brief presentation tonight, and then we will spend the rest of the evening answering any questions you may have um, and just navigating the scholarships and application process. So, why choose the IEE? We have been around for sending students abroad for over 75 years, and we have supported over 40,000 students every year. Um, and we are a nonprofit organization. So everything that we earn, we give back to our students and are putting that into our programs. And we administer the largest scholarship fund for US high school students. Also great reasons to do CIEE. We offer fun where students are able to discover new places and just new discoveries every day, as well as have daily cultural activities so that way they can integrate and learn the culture that they are part of, as well as free time to explore. We also have friends where new friends from around the world and countries so that way you're able to connect and build strong, lasting friendships for the future, as well as lifelong connections. We also have future. So thinking about your future, you can earn college credits with our language and culture courses, as well as our dance courses. And then we also help you stand out on college applications. Only 2% of high school students study abroad. So it really does stand out on the college application when you put that on there. And it also helps develop skills for any career as well as gain independence. So these are our enrollment pathways. We do award $7 million every year for scholarships. So we have several enrollment options with that. We have our direct enrollment, which is where you can apply directly to the program of your choice. There's no scholarship and you're accepted on a rolling basis. Then we also offer our Academic Merit Award, which is for $500, and that you will apply directly to the program of your choice. And it is also awarded on a rolling basis and recognizes academic excellence. And then we have our big scholarship, which is the Global Navigator Scholarship, and that is academic merit and financial need based. And that recognizes academic excellence, and it is available to freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. The application deadline for that is January 21st, and the scholarship can cover anywhere from $500 up to 100% of tuition cost. So, what to expect when applying for a scholarship? So, this will apply to our Academic Merit Award as well as our Global Navigator Scholarship. You will have to complete three short essay questions. It is between 300 to 600 words per essay. And then you will upload your current transcript as well as a teacher recommendation. Your teacher will be sent an email from us to complete their recommendation portion. We do not require a letter, which is nice for the teachers, and it should only take them 10 to 15 minutes to complete that. And then you will also complete the terms and conditions for all three application types. And then for the Global Navigator Scholarship, we require financial supporting documents, either your IRS 1040 tax form or additional documents if you do not have that. So for right now, not to miss out on important dates, now is rolling admissions for our Academic Merit Award and for direct enrollment. And then December 1st is the deadline for our early decision for Global Navigator Scholarship. So you have an opportunity to have your application reviewed and receive a decision in January rather than February if you were to submit in January. And then we also have our Early Birds Fly Free raffle, where you could potentially earn free round trip airfare for your program. And then January 21st is the final deadline for a scholarship. And then in February, you would receive scholarship awards and find out which program you are placed in. And that is the basic gist of our presentation for tonight. So I'm happy to go over questions you may have. I see we have a few already posted in there, so I'll go ahead and get started on those. Let's see. Somebody asked, since it's a rolling process for admissions and for at least some of the scholarships, does applying early give you an edge, either in admissions or in scholarship awards? Um, it won't necessarily give you an edge. It would just be better for you to be able to get it in sooner, so that way you can find out sooner for which program you've been assigned, as well as how much money you've been awarded. Um, and then it gives you more opportunity if you're interested in fundraising to fundraise sooner. So I would always recommend submitting sooner rather than later. Uh, let's see. The next question is asking, I don't have IRS documents, but I have food stamps slash data census paperwork. Will that be okay? Yes, you will be able to upload food stamps or state assistance paperwork. We will also ask for your free and reduced lunch paperwork as well from the school. Um, any documents in it, if you do not have the 1040 tax form, you'll be able to see in the financial document upload what other documents are accepted in there. So we have a nice little reading guide to help walk you through that as well. Okay, the next question is asking, what do you look for in essays for the Academic Merit Award? The best thing for completing the essays is answering the question fully and completely. We also recommend taking a look at our blogs. We have some great resources there. And I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to have them send you over that information so that way you can take a look. But we are looking for correct grammar and whatnot, and that you answered all the questions that have been asked in the prompt. Okay. Uh, Somebody asked, what are the chances of winning the Academic Merit Scholarship? For the Academic Merit Scholarship, they just take into account your grades, so your transcripts, your teacher recommendation, and your essays. So if you have strong grades and strong essays, you are more than likely going to receive scholarship. I don't have an exact number or percentage of how many do receive that scholarship. Okay. Okay. If my grades are not very good, am I still eligible? You are still eligible to apply. We do take grades into account, but if you have strong essays and a great teacher recommendation, that can help boost your application. Um, but we do look at grades, so it just depends on how our review board considers that. Somebody also asked, can you apply for both scholarships or just one? So you can only apply for one scholarship per program year. So if you're interested in one or the other, I would recommend, if you're eligible, to apply for the Global Navigator Scholarship. Um, but you can also discuss which would be the best option with your enrollment coordinator. You can send them an email at hsabroad@ciee.org. So I'll go ahead and add that into the chat. Or you can also give us a call on our phone lines, and we'll be happy to help as well to try and find the best fit for you. Okay. What grades must you have for academic scholarships? Do better grades give you a better scholarship? For our scholarships, we recommend having a 2.5 or higher to be considered for scholarship. Um, If they're lower, I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to discuss what that would look like, and that way they can better support you. Okay. Could you explain how early decision deadline, please? Yes, for the early decision deadline, you would submit your application by December 1st, and then that will give our review board time to review your application. Typically, if you submit for early decision, you will receive your program placement and scholarship amount in mid to late January. We don't have the exact dates of when you'd get that, but it would be before the February uh, announcement of scholarships for the regular deadline. So this is a great question. If you don't have financial need, will your scholarship amount be limited to $500 academic merit? Not necessarily. They will take into account your essays again, as well as your teacher recommendation and grades. So you're welcome to apply to it. Um, So it just depends, but I would also recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to see which would be the best fit. And especially if you're interested in a particular program, uh, then that would be something to discuss with them and they'd be able to help lead you to the correct application. Okay. Once awards are offered, what is the deadline to respond? Once you receive your award and your scholarship award and your placement, you will have 5 business days to decide if you'd like to accept and confirm your spot on program or decline the scholarship. Um, you can be placed uh, for our Global Navigator Scholarship. 90% of our scholarships are awarded to language and culture programs. So if you do not put a language and culture program in one of your top 3 choices, there is a chance that you could be placed in a language and culture, which we can see happen on occasion. So sometimes if it's not your desired choice, you are welcome to decline that or then try and direct enroll into the program of your choice. Okay, is there a specific dress code for certain areas for cultural respect slash religious reasons? There is not a specific dress code for certain areas that we have in place. We just ask that you be conscious of how you're addressing. And then we do have orientations for specific locations. So they will go over what is appropriate in different cultural contexts and whatnot. Um, but we don't necessarily have a dress code for that comes from CIE, but more so from our site centers that would be able to give you more of that information. Let's see. Is scholarships available to for senior high school? Are scholarships available for seniors in high school? So for seniors in high school, they are eligible to apply for our $500 academic merit award. Unfortunately, you are not eligible to apply for the Global Navigator Scholarship. However, I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to ask about fundraising resources and where you can look for scholarships outside of CIEE as well. Somebody else asked, what are the chances of winning the free flight raffle? I don't have the percentage or the chance of winning the free flight raffle. Um, Unfortunately, I don't know how many will end up applying for that at this time. So I don't have that information, but you're welcome to reach out to the enrollment coordinator to see if they have any insight on that. Do you know how many people can win the Early Birds Fly Free voucher? So they will select one winner for the Early Birds Fly Free, and that will be announced later on, I believe, in February or March. Again, I would reach out to your enrollment coordinator to see if they have the exact date of when that would be announced. Somebody else asked if you have more than one teacher recommendation, would that be better? Um, you are only able to put in one teacher recommendation. When you go to your application, you will see the teacher recommendation task, and you will only be able to enter one teacher's name and email in order to get that. So that's all that's needed. So you wouldn't be able to add a second in there. Great question. If parents are divorced, will you accept just one parent's 1040 tax form? Yes, we will just accept the one 1040 tax form that has you listed as a dependent, and that's the only one that is required to upload. Okay. If my transcript for this year is not out, but for last year, would that be good or no? So if you do not have your transcript still, you can upload your transcript from last year, and our team may reach out to you to try and get an updated one in the end of the quarter or end of semester. But you can upload your most recent one that you have available to you, and then you will probably hear from our team to get an updated one. So somebody also asked, does the transcript need to be official or can it be unofficial? So for the transcript, it can be your unofficial transcript. We just need to make sure that it has your name, your grade, your classes, the grades, as well as the name of your school and what year you are in. Just wanted to let you guys know too, this is being recorded. So if you arrived late, that's no problem at all. You will be receive an email with the link to this recording. So that way, if you missed anything, you're welcome to rewatch it as well. And then you can also ask your enrollment coordinators for the link to this recording too. Somebody asked, do we need to take some exams besides the essay and recommendation? You are not required to take any exams for the application process. The only time you will be taking a test would be if you are going to a language and culture program, and you will take the stamp placement test, so that way we can place you into your language level. Um, and then you will find out which level you've been placed in when you arrive on program. Great question. With the teacher recommendation, which course or subject will potentially earn me more scholarships? We recommend having a teacher that are you see at least 3 times a week, somebody who's familiar with you. It does not necessarily matter about subject. You're welcome to put a guidance counselor or a teacher. Um, they're just looking to see if that uh, they you match some of the criteria we're looking for, which is somebody who's willing to learn, um, and is being open to new experiences. Okay. Uh, is there payment plans if you still have to pay? How does that work? So for payment plans, that would be something that you coordinate with your enrollment coordinator. But the way that you can do payments here is you will pay a $1,000 non-refundable deposit if you decide to accept and confirm your spot on program. And then once you do that, the remaining balance for the program cost will be due on April 1st. So you can make as many payments as you'd like before then. But if you'd like to set something up with your enrollment coordinator, you're welcome to do that. You can email them or call them, and they'll be happy to help with that. If I choose to apply for the Navigators rather than the Academic Merit Scholarship, do I still have to do the essays? Yes, you will have to do essays for both the Academic Merit Award or the Global Navigator Scholarship. Both require 3 essays. Um, so you will have to do it for one or the other, whichever you decide to go with. Can people from the same school get into the same program? Yes, people from the same school can be in the same program. It's not guaranteed that you will be if you're both applying for the Global Navigator Scholarship. But if you are applying for the Academic Merit Award or for direct enrollment, then you would for sure be placed in the same program. Are there any external scholarships we can apply to? I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator. They'll be happy to send you some resources about external scholarships and where you can look for those, as well as who the best people to talk to would be for that. Okay, so as you said that you'll find out what program you're in when you find out CIE's decision on your scholarship. Can you not choose your program if you apply to a scholarship? Great question. So for the Academic Merit Award, you will apply directly to the program of your choice. For the Global Navigator Scholarship, you will be applying to 3 of your top programs. They do their best to try and place you in your top choice program, but they could potentially place you in your second or third choice programs and award you scholarship to one of those programs, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. How do I find my enrollment coordinator? Great question. To find us abroad at ciee.org, and that way they will be able to connect you to your enrollment coordinator. And you're also welcome to give us a call at 866 583 0332, and we'll be able to help you there as well. What is the difference between the 2 scholarships? So for the Academic Merit Award, that is strictly based on merit, and that is only for $500, whereas our Global Navigator Scholarship is merit plus financial need based, and that can range in scholarship amount from $500 up to 100% of program cost. Okay, I started the application process. Why does including language and culture summer course increase receiving a scholarship? Can a student get aid for the creative writing and culture or performing arts? Yes, you can receive scholarship for creative writing or performing arts or any of our topic programs. However, it is 90% of our scholarship is awarded to language and culture. That is due to our donor, who has given over, she donates over $6 million each year for these programs. And she's invested into our language and culture programs because she likes to see that language immersion as well as culture. So that way students will develop those language skills. Okay, great question. Do scholarships apply to academic year programs? Yes, we do currently have scholarship for our academic year programs. Those look different than what we offer for summer. For our semester and our academic year programs, we offer scholarships up to $4,000. They are brand new, so we are still waiting for more information to be released on that, but it will be uploaded to our website soon, and you can also reach out to your enrollment coordinator to see if they have any more information about that. Okay. Can you give some examples slash format for recommendation letter? So for the recommendation, it is not a letter. The teachers will receive an email from CIEE where they'll be able to open a link to complete that section of the application. It's usually, I think it's like 5 to 6 questions where they will be able to answer and give their recommendation right there. If they have any trouble with that, you can have them reach out to us and we're happy to resend a link. Sometimes it can go to their spam, but we always recommend that students let their teachers know that they've put them for the recommendations so that way they can be on the lookout for that email. Okay. It says, how do I get an enrollment coordinator? I don't have one. So your enrollment coordinator is based on the territory of the where you are located. So we have 16 territories and we have over 32 enrollment coordinators. So if you just send us an email or give us a call, we'll be happy to connect you to your enrollment coordinator. Okay. To ask where do you go to apply for these scholarships? Apply for the scholarships, you can go straight to the CIEE website and you can click apply now. And when you go in to open the application, it will ask you, are you applying for a scholarship? And you can select if you'd like to apply for the $500 Academic Merit Award or if you'd like to apply for the Global Navigator Scholarship. Okay. Is it possible to put an advisor's letter of recommendation? It's not possible to put in a letter of recommendation. There's no spot to upload a letter or anything like that. They will go in and they will type their answers to the questions provided. Do you know if Madrid is one of the cities that have the most applicants? And if so, are there any tips to help make you stand out? Madrid is one of our popular sites. But I would recommend for standing out, it's just making sure that you have read through your essays and making sure you answer the questions and just being your authentic self. Okay, okay, great question. Would it be better to get a recommendation letter from the principal? Does that not matter? Um, so in terms of recommendations, we just recommend somebody who you have a good relationship with, that can attest to your character, and how they think you would respond on program. That would be the best thing to do. So if you feel comfortable asking your principal for a recommendation, that's great. But you can also ask for from your guidance counselor or your teacher as well. So another question about the deposit. So do I have to pay the $1,000 non-refundable deposit if I sign up for scholarship slash if I can't afford it? So you would pay a $1,000 deposit after you received your scholarship decision and placement. So depending on how much a scholarship you receive, you may not need to pay that $1,000 deposit, but you'll have to wait and see how much you receive in order to know how much you would be paying in deposit, if that makes sense. I would also recommend emailing your enrollment coordinator about that just to be clear. Okay. I see. How do I get my transcript? To get your transcript, you can go to your school office, or to your guidance counselor, and you can ask them for your unofficial transcript. and they'll be able to either email it to you or possibly print it off, but your school would be where you get your unofficial transcript. How many people sign up for the CIEE summer program? Great question. Last year, we had over 4,200 students that went on program with us. So we've had quite a few, and we're not sure how many will be joining us this summer, but um, we've had a great success, and we've had a lot of students with a lot more interest this year. Can you explain what direct enrollment is? Yes, direct enrollment means that you are applying to the program of your choice and will be paying the full cost of the program. Um, so there is no scholarship involved with direct enrollment. Okay, great question. When you submit the scholarship application, do you still need to apply to the programs you want to go to? No, you do not need to fill out a separate application. The scholarship application is all in one. So the scholarship application is where you are applying to your programs. So you don't need to open a second application at all for that. Okay. If you apply for the Global Navigator Scholarship and are not selected for first choice program, can you decline and then just pick your first choice with the Academic Merit Scholarship? No, you would not be able to apply for the Academic Merit Scholarship if you decline your Global Navigator Scholarship. You would, however, be able to apply for your first choice program for direct enrollment. Okay, okay. This is a really good question. Do you have to know the language when you go into the program in another country? You do not need to have language experience for a language program. We do have requirements for some placements, like Madrid, Barcelona, and Paris, our French language and culture program. However, we have other cities that offer those languages where you do not have to have experience. And then also for Arabic, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, you do not have to have any language experience. A majority of our students who do go on those programs, that will be the first time that they are learning that language as well. Okay. Does applying as early as before November get an earlier response other than February about the program? So if you apply before November, you would fall into the early decision deadline. So you would receive your scholarship and program placement in about January. So that would be before the regular decision of January 21st deadline. It's asking, can you talk a little bit more about the scholarships for the academic year program? So for our academic year program, um, the scholarships, they are brand new to me as well. So I'm still learning about them, but they do go up to $4,000, and they are merit and financial need based as well. But I would recommend reaching out via email or phone call to your enrollment coordinator to get more information. Hopefully we will get that information released on the website here very soon. So for the next question, when is teacher recommendation due if applying early before December 1st? So your teacher recommendation is due before December 1st when you submit your application. If you are missing the teacher recommendation, you would then and they submit it after December 1st, you would then fall into the regular decision. The teacher recommendation is required to complete your full application and to be considered for that early decision. Okay. Okay. Is the college first year abroad program a popular program? We've had a big interest in it. We currently have made a few changes to that program. So it is growing. I'm not too familiar with how big the program is or has been in the past just yet, but I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to get more information about that. Okay. How many students are applying for the academic year, and what are my chances of being accepted into the academic year program? Okay, great question. So for the academic year program, um, the last year we did have about 15 to 20 students who were attending the programs. Um, and for as terms of chances of being accepted, I don't have an acceptance rate, but I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator so that way they can help you with the application process and answer that question for you. Okay. Somebody asked, do Running Start students need to submit their college or high school transcript? I'm not familiar with Running Start, so I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator and they will be able to better assist with that. Um, and then you can let them know that you are part of Running Start and they can help let you know how you would upload transcripts. Uh, Somebody asked if I could apply for the summer and gap year program. Yes, you can apply for a summer program as well as a gap year program. You can reach out to your enrollment coordinator to find out more about how that process looks, um, and to figure out which program would be the best fit for you as well. We'll be happy to discuss that. Okay. If I do the early decision and I want to apply to a program in Spain, but have 2 years of French and not Spanish, but I am fluent in Spanish. What are the requirements? Is there an interview? That is a great question. So if you do not speak Spanish or you speak Spanish but you have not taken Spanish in high school, you can just do a language verification interview with one of our coordinators, and that way they will be able to assess your level, and then if you'd like to apply, they'll be able to help with that. But it's okay if you do not have that. If you're a heritage speaker, you would just do that interview with one of us, and they will be able to let your enrollment coordinator that you've passed and are able to apply for that program. Okay. Somebody asked, how would I get a recommendation from my teacher? To get a recommendation from your teacher, you would, on your application, there will be a section where you will enter in your teacher's name and their email. And then I would also recommend going to your teacher in person, letting them know that you were wanting to use them as a reference, as a recommendation, and then letting them know that they will receive an email from CIEE to complete that recommendation. Okay. So it also looks like somebody asked, if I explicitly write about a program that is not language and culture, do I have better chances of getting in, specifically culinary and culture in Kyoto? Um, so it for this, I would say that it wouldn't necessarily improve your chances. Um, as long as your essay is hitting requirements, they do try and take in preferences into account, but they can't always guarantee that you will be placed into that first choice program. But if you're writing strong essays and that are answering the question and you feel like you'd like to write about that program, the culinary and culture program, then I do recommend doing that. But it's not necessarily going to improve chances, but they do take into consideration your preferences. So what are the admissions people looking for in a scholarship essay? They are looking that you are following the guidelines for writing the essay that's listed in the task of the application, and they're looking that you are answering the questions as well as making sure that it is grammatically correct and that uh, yes, that you are being authentic to yourself. Um, and we do not allow any use of AI for writing essays as well. For the summer abroad program, when are we expected to fly to our location? You are expected to fly to your location on the start date of the program. Um, So I would recommend taking a look at our website to see the exact dates of the programs. But if you look on there, that first start date is when you would arrive on program and you would have orientation right as soon as you land. Good question. Are language programs needed in order to get a scholarship? We recommend selecting at least two language and culture programs to increase your chances of receiving scholarships to one of those programs. Because again, 90% of scholarships do go to language and culture. Um, However, if you are interested in a topic program, we understand. I would recommend putting the topic program as your first choice, and then you can put the language and culture programs as your second and third. Let's see. Okay, it looks like the CIEE website has been giving me difficulties lately for the past month after I submitted my application. The website won't load when I visit my CIEE page, and I can't see my other applications. Okay, if you have any issues with your CIEE application, I would recommend doing some troubleshooting first. You can try by clearing your cache and cookies on your web browser. If that is not working, I would recommend trying either another web a browser or also trying a different device. If none of those options are working, you can also give us a call or send us an email, and we can have our project coordination team and also our IT team take a look, and they'll be happy to try and get that figured out so we can get your application open for you. Okay, okay, good questions coming in. Okay, so I wrote my essays, but for some reason, one of the AI checkers said it was 7% AI, even though I used zero. What should I do? So if you're seeing that the checkers are saying it's 7%, you can send an email to your enrollment coordinator, let them know that this is what's showing up. But it shouldn't be a problem at all. And especially if you're letting your enrollment coordinator know, they will be able to make a note on the application. Um, so that way they're aware and then they can send that over to anybody who looks at your application. For scholarships, why do you recommend putting a topic program first before the language and culture programs? So I only recommend putting a topic program first if that is something that you are very interested in. Um, but of course, if you're interested in a language and culture program, you can put that in your first choice. It is whatever you'd like to do. It is just a recommendation. Um, so if for that particular question, somebody was interested in that topic program, So I would recommend putting that first and then selecting the language and cultures. But if you're somebody that is interested in language and culture, you can select all three as language and cultures, and that's no problem at all. Okay. If somebody asked, do you have to fly there yourself? And is there any support for navigating? Yes, we do provide support for navigating flights and whatnot. After you've confirmed your spot on program, the next set of tasks will populate in the application, and that will include booking your flight through our partner FlightFox. FlightFox allows you the option to book your flights independently or if you'd like a chaperone group flight. For that, you will fly by yourself individually uh, domestically to then meet the chaperone group at a gateway airport. At the gateway airport, you'll meet your chaperone group at the gate of your international flight. And your enrollment coordinator can provide more information about that as well. Okay. How much would the scholarship cover and how much of the family income plays a factor? That is a great question. So typically for scholarships, I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to get more information. I don't have exact numbers for how much income plays a factor, but um, in terms of how much would the scholarship cover, it can range. Again, it can be anywhere from $500 up to 100% of the program cost. And also an important note to make is that the cost of flights for our summer programs are not included in the program cost. Okay. I see another question. How do I contact an enrollment coordinator and who is that? Yep. So I will go ahead and I will send the email where you can email to get connected with your enrollment coordinator. And again, that is hsabroad@ciee.org. Or you're also welcome to give us a call as well, and we'll be more than happy to connect you to your enrollment coordinator. Your enrollment coordinator, again, is based off of where you live based on the territories. Okay. Okay, we'll take the last few questions here. Do you know how much we should take with us if we get accepted? I would assume you're talking about money. So how much money would we recommend taking with you if accepted into the program? We do have a reading on this provided in the application portal, but we typically recommend about $50 a week. That way, if you want to buy any souvenirs or some little snacks, then you're welcome to do that. But I would recommend taking a look at the reading as it gives a little bit more insight on that as well. This one's asking, I'm planning to study abroad this summer in Athens, Greece, and I have family in Greece. Am I allowed to visit them on a weekend where I don't have a lot of activities? That is a great question. Typically, there is not a lot of free time. Usually, schedules are packed with activities throughout program. Um, so we don't normally allow visits during program since you will have a pretty full schedule. But I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to get more information about that. We also don't have a schedule for Athens, Greece at the moment, since that is one of our newer programs. Um, but we're happy to share some information from some of the other programs that we've have done in the past. So somebody asked if the flight is not included in the program, would we have to pay for it ourselves? Yes, you would have to pay for the flight yourself. A lot of our students end up fundraising to cover the cost of flights. And I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator to get some fundraising tips and tricks. Or we also have our fundraising webpage. If you go to the CIEE website, there's information on that, and it's called fundraising as well, and has some great YouTube videos of other students and how they were able to fundraise to cover the remaining cost of program as well as the flight. Okay, can selecting a certain country affect scholarships? Uh, no, selecting a certain country will not necessarily affect scholarships. Uh, Japan is one of our most popular countries, so we do recommend only selecting one Japanese program for that, just because it is so popular and those programs tend to fill up. So we recommend selecting two other countries if you are applying for the Global Navigator Scholarship. Um, so you can put that Japanese language and culture as your first choice, and then selecting a few others like our Korean language and culture or our Chinese language and culture as well. Will they be paired with kids from the same grade? So they will be in groups with kids of any grade level. So we have students who are between 14 to 18 that are freshmen to senior. So they will be mixed. It is not separated by grade. Um, for our language and culture, it would be separated by the language level placement that they are in. Okay. Somebody asked, how would the flights work? For flights, I would recommend reaching out to your enrollment coordinator. That way they can give you more information about that. They'll be happy to email you all of that, and then they can also include a YouTube video on how to book flights and everything like that. Okay. When do you get to meet people in your program? You'll begin to meet people in your program, I believe in March or April. We will release a Canvas course and it is called Know Before You Go. It is required for all of our students to complete it. It offers a orientation introduction into the program and what starts to set expectations. And within that course, we have a discussion board where you can start introducing yourself and seeing if there's anybody in your area and just getting to know the people that are on your program. Okay, let's see. We'll do two more questions. Let's see. Okay. Somebody asked, are the summer abroad programs first come, first serve? Yes, for our summer abroad programs, it is on a rolling basis, so it would be first come, first serve. Okay. And our final question for the evening, how many people are usually within a program? Will there be any contact with the host family before flying over? Great question. It depends on the size of the program. Size of the programs vary by country and by program as well. We have some smaller programs where there can be anywhere from like 10 to 15 students. And then we have some larger programs that can be anywhere from 70 to 100 students. So it can vary in size depending on what the topic of the program is, as well as the location. And then in terms of the host families, you will receive your host family placement 1 week before departure, and they will send you over their contact information and a little bit of information about the families themselves. Um, and once you do that, you're able to reach out to try and connect with that host family. Okay. For any remaining questions, I recommend reaching out to our enrollment coordinators again. Our email is hsabroad@ciee.org. And you can also find that on the website in the summer abroad section. Um, or you're also welcome to give us a call. We are more than happy to walk you through the application process and answer any questions or concerns that you may have. But you guys have been great this evening. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.